Hello everyone, welcome to Jennifer's Sewing and Crochet. Today we're going to talk about learning to crochet. I learned to crochet with this particular book. This was printed in 2001. It's printed by Coates. It is the Learn How book. It covers knitting, crochet, tatting, and embroidery. But before you start crocheting, a very important step is to print out a crochet abbreviations list. This will help you tremendously while you're learning to crochet. And I say that because most crochet patterns are written with the crochet abbreviated form of each stitch. If you do not know how to read the crochet abbreviations, you're not going to be able to read your pattern correctly. I found this on allfreecrochet.com. You can go to their website and print this out for free. Very important step when learning how to crochet is to read your crochet abbreviations. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So when you learn to crochet, you're going to want to gather your basic equipment. Crocheting does not require a lot. You're going to, of course, want thread or yarn. I will be using this cotton yarn today because it shows you the stitches really well. Okay, they have many different kinds of crochet threads and yarn. In my, I believe, 2 videos back, I show you different types of crochet threads and yarn that you can use. Then you're going to want a measuring tape. I really like this retractable tape. It's nice and small. It doesn't get tangled, and I'm able to put it in my crochet bag without taking up a lot of room. You will need a measuring tape to measure your gauge and the length and the width of your finished projects. Okay. Then you're going to want either thread, snippers, or a pair of scissors. You can also use a small pair of embroidery scissors. They look a lot like manicure scissors. I really like using these because they cut thread cleanly. It just takes one little nip and it's cut really nice and sharp. Okay. Then you are going to want either stitch markers, safety pins, a contrasting color of thread or yarn, and that is to mark your stitches or the front and the back of your work. When you are working a pattern, it will specify a front side or a back side or a wrong side and a right side. Also, some of them will tell you to mark a certain stitch, and safety pins are really good. You can find specified stitch markers or specific stitch markers at Amazon, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, or Joann's. I just like using safety pins because I have them on hand. I use them a lot while quilting. Okay, then you're going to want your crochet hooks. If you refer to my video playlist, I believe it's 3 videos back, I have a complete video on crochet hooks, the different types of crochet hooks, and the ones that I use. I really like using ergonomic hooks, which this one is. It helps me work for longer periods of time. It fits my hand real well. Okay, so what we're going to want to do first is we're going to want to create a slip knot. I will first show you how to do the stitch, and then I will include some photos that you can pause on. You can also pause on this and it'll show you each step, but the pictures will be able to show you what each step will visually look like. Okay, and with that, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first what you're going to want to do is you take your thread or your yarn, whatever you're using, and you're going to want to place it over the top of your hand. If you're right-handed, place it over your left. If you're left, place it over your right. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to leave a tail, and the reason why you leave a tail is because when you're finished with your work, you will weave in the tail ends, and what that does is that helps prevent unraveling of the project, and it also gives it a nice, clean, finished look. Okay, some patterns will tell you leave a 6-inch tail. I like at least doubling whatever the amount says, because I like a lot of extra thread or yarn to work with. Okay. So, but for this, we're just going to leave a nice short one. Okay, so what you're going to do, place it over your hand, hold it with your thumb on your ring finger, then spread your fingers, take the top, loop it over your top 2 fingers, bring it back around, and back over the top. I like leaving it an X, and I bring the working end over to the left. And the reason why I like to do that is when you take your hook, move over just a little bit here. When you take your hook, it just lets you see a little bit better. So take your hook, place it into the loop, bring it up underneath your index finger, and grab the working end, and whoops, didn't work that time. Okay, grab your working end, grab it with the hook, and pull up a loop, just like that. So hold it with your finger, then grab your tail end with your other hand, grab your working end, and you'll see that you have a loop on your hook. Okay, so grab that tail end again and tighten it, cinch it right down onto the hook, just like so. Okay, and you will see pictures of each step. Okay, so now what we're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your end, your tail end, hold it in your right hand if you're right-handed, left if you're left, and you're going to want to properly hold your yarn. And the reason why you want to know how to properly hold your yarn is you're going to maintain a tension on your yarn while you're working, and that is to ensure that your stitches aren't too tight or they're too loose. Over time, you will get your tension down. I believe it took me maybe a week's worth of practice to get it right. Okay, so what you want to do, loop your yarn over your pinky, like so, and just bring it right back over the top. And that creates enough tension while you're working, while you're holding it. Okay, and that keeps your tension really well. You may like wrapping it around your pointer finger and doing it that way. It all depends on you, just as long as it's comfortable for you to work with. Okay, I typically just wrap it around my pinky. Okay, and I will show you in a still picture. Okay, so now that we know how to hold our yarn, we are going to start with a yarn over. Okay, and what a yarn over is that is the first step to creating your chain stitch. Okay, a yarn over is when you wrap the yarn from the front to the back of your work over your hook. Okay, and what that does is it lets you create the chain stitch, like I said. And to do that, is just like this. You hold it, hold your yarn tension, hold your tail in your right hand, okay, like so. Take your working yarn, go behind your hook, and wrap it over the top, just like that, okay? So, under your work, over the top, just like so. And pull it up to the hook, okay? That is a simple yarn over, and that is abbreviated YO. Okay, I'll pause the video again, and you have a steel picture that you can look at. Okay, so now that you know your yarn over, that is the first, or some people consider it the second step to creating your chain stitch. Your first, your slip knot, your second, your yarn over, and then what you're going to do to create your chain stitch is you're going to yarn over and draw the yarn through the loop on the hook to form a new loop without tightening the previous one. Okay? And that is like this. So hold your slip knot with your finger, yarn over, grab the knot tail end with your thumb and finger. I like grabbing it. It's a little bit easier on the very first stitch. And you're going to take it right down to the hook end, and you're going to turn your hook slightly and pull it through your slip knot you created. And there is your very first chain stitch. And again, there will be a still picture to show you that. Okay. Okay, and then what you want to do, depending on what your pattern is, it will tell you how many stitches to chain. You can either yarn over this way by like what I showed you and pull through, or once you get really comfortable with it, you can hold your thread and you can just move your hook, okay, like so. You just move it, grab your thread. Let's see if we can make this a little easier to see. Okay, and just loop it through and pull. Loop it through and pull. Okay, and that will create your chain stitches. Okay. Stay tuned for our next video because I will be showing you how to build on your chain stitch. Okay. Some people call the chain stitches your foundation row because that is what your whole project will be built on. We'll see you next time. Thank you.